Hello and welcome to another episode of Goat and Goat. I just made that up. Hey Jeff, how you doing?
Excellent, brother Dave. How are you, man?
I'm good. Yeah, maybe a little better than you at the moment. I heard you got sick again, right?
Yeah, the COVID but bit me in the butt again out of the blue. It's been third time, but only this. It's been over 2 years since we had anything, and it's a weird time of year to get that. But unfortunately, it is one of those things that happens with my immune system isn't at peak operating position. So it's actually this is a great segue that um, the teclistamab treatment that I had back in March was fantastic because 1 week later, boom, I'm in complete remission. My numbers are in fact so low they're not even hardly detectable. However, there's always this side effect, or there's a little price you pay for the yay, I'm in remission. But my white count is still low. My hemoglobin is low. My platelets are low. And my factors that are kind of your frontline defense are weaker than normal. So I've had some like baby colds and sniffles here and there and cough. And so I'm not at 100%. So, yay, I don't have myeloma active at the moment. But with all these fabulous treatments, there's still a little price you pay on the side. And I'm now learning that 4 months into it and trying to adjust to it. But it kind of stinks just not being at
God, no.
100%.
And those of you who are just watching one of these videos for the first time, Jeff and I are doing a 300-mile bike ride, 300 miles over 6 days with a lot of climbing up in Napa and Sonoma. That's coming up in August, so we're doing a fundraising trip. But we're doing these videos to help get behind the scenes a little bit, and understand what's going on, not only with Jeff, but with others in this community that we're a part of. We've been raising money for how many years, Jeff?
14 years, brother.
14
14
years. And like,
years.
how many events? 18?
This will be the 15th event
15th event.
for us collectively for Team Go Jeff Go. Yep.
And over $200,000 raised. Am I close?
We are north of 200,000 that we've raised. It's a long way from that initial, I think, $750 we raised for a little 5K walk
Yeah.
all the way back in 2010.
Well,
No, you did the first event. You did the California Marathon.
my first marathon. Thank you very much. Yeah.
That's right.
Inspired by you. You said you would coach me, and you did, and I finished. And you'd see me sporting the Road to Victories MMRF uniform. I'm going to go on a sunset ride tonight because I got to get my training in. We're just a couple of months away from this event. But Jeff, let's talk about something different other than the fundraising aspect of this. Just being in the community. You and I were talking about this before I turned the camera on. This concept of buying time, right? You can be in remission one day and then boom, everything changes. And maybe talk to us about just some of the relationships you've had, things that have happened recently, and why it's important to continue to raise money, because we don't have an ultimate cure yet, right? It's a series of treatments that are being developed, and how important
Right.
it is to keep supporting that. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Right. Yeah. The one of the best phrases ever is I have to attribute to our good friends that Ramona and I met at 270 Bio in Boston, and they're the company behind my CAR T therapy that I had back in January. And their motto within their whole company, it's all about buying time, because we don't have a cure. So the caliber and quality of my time as a patient, your time with me as my brother, Ramona's time with me as my wife, all is dependent upon new therapies that come along, because we're all on something until it stops working. And there is this blissful period of time you kind of forget that you have a disease, and you're feeling good, but you're still doing regular therapies. And then one day your blood comes back, numbers, it's like, oh, my number's starting to creep up again. And then you got to go back to the drawing board. It's like, all right, what's next? And you have to shift gears and you got to find another treatment. And the beauty of this industry is there were 4 treatments 14 years ago, and now we're at 15 treatments, which is remarkable. One of the most recent ones, it was a therapy I had in March, this brand new bispecific antigens, which are fancy word for a new drug that takes the bad guy myeloma proteins and the good guys, put them together, gets rid of the myeloma with little to no collateral damage. But these are just, again, buying time until we get a very permanent cure for this. But one of the hardest things for me is meeting people over these last 14 years. And there are folks that are that were diagnosed way back just after I was in 2010, and people are also on this journey a little. Sometimes it's a leapfrog, they're on one combination of things and then they switch, and we all share information about the good and the bad side effects and things. But people are generally stable. They're able to generally live their lives, generally have a good caliber and quality of life. But sometimes that comes to an end. They run out of time. And those are the hardest things for me, because as silly as it is, I feel like, well, why am I so lucky? I'm the same, I've got myeloma like all these other people do, but I've been very fortunate and blessed with great medical team and perhaps the choices of the particular drugs in the order. I certainly have a great support system, family, team members, people on these rides and runs and mountain climbs and things that we've done. All are huge in this support structure. But the hard piece is to find out that somebody, someone who just died this last Wednesday for myeloma, she ran out of time. And we have another good buddy. I have to shout out to Andrew Gordon. He's one of our cycling brothers on trips. He had a curveball happen for him this last year. So we're good until we're not. And that's why we can never let up on our pursuit of cures, on our pursuit of therapies that make sense, that don't have a lot of side effects to them. And we have to keep pushing. There is no way to just sit back and relax, because it's easy to do that when you go from 4 to 14. It's like, wow, look at all those choices. It is a lot of choices, but it's not a permanent fix. So that's why it's challenging for me when I mentor a lot of folks in a variety of scenarios along their journey, and people are good talking. Next thing you know, you find out someone's not with us anymore. So that inspires and fires me up to work harder, care more, raise more money on these trips that we are doing together. And so that's one of the curveballs that comes along with myeloma.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I feel the same emotion. The person you mentioned lost is a friend of mine from high school, and people don't know how many folks you do mentor in this community. You gave her some good advice. Don't sell your horses. Hang in there, keep the things you love, and just keep trying to achieve the normal things in life, or the things that bring you joy. And while this thing is hovering around in the back, It's interesting you said, there's 15 new treatments. How many have you been on?
The treatment that I had in March would be the sixth therapy that I'm on. I think the seventh drug total, but the sixth therapy. Um, Most of the things that I did early on were a single drug at a time. Things have changed in the myeloma arena. They're doing two, sometimes three, sometimes even four therapies all at the same time. So they're really magnifying the effects of what these drugs can do in terms of suppressing the myeloma and giving people a longer horizon of remission. But it's all a delicate balancing act because there is no drug that doesn't have some side effect. And so if you're doing two or three of these things, again, there's a price to pay for that, fatigue or something else. So the balancing act of keeping your quality of life high, the ability to do the things that you love, that you're passionate about, is really important. And so it's a lot of hard thinking and questions that people have with their doctors, with their family. It does take a community of people to keep things on even keel, and you can never relax.
Yeah, that's it. You said 15 new treatments in the last 14 years, but we need number 16, number 17, number
That's
8.
right.
And that's going to come along at a time when someone needs it and hopefully save a life. And it's horrible to lose people earlier than necessary. Well, you have a very inspirational story. A lot of people have been following it for a long time. It popped up in my Facebook feed. I saw we did a keynote speech for a company who donated. It was KSM accounting firm. Hey, Kevin. Hey, how are you guys? Donated $5,000 to the cause, and you and I came out and did a keynote speech for all their employees. And
I remember that. That was several years ago.
So I'm just going to renew that offer. Are you okay with that? If somebody
Absolutely.
All right. So if you're watching this, you have a company or you work for a company, go check and see if there's a budget for giving or for hiring speakers. I'm a professional speaker by trade. Jeff's even better than I am. And besides, it's his story. So we'll come together and do a team up and tell you the story and share all the lessons that we learned and inspire your folks. So just send us a private message somewhere where you see this video, and I'll be happy to give you more details about that. But we'll resurrect that little program. And so, Jeff, let's just close it up tonight with, again, words of advice, not to donors. I want you to talk directly to the other survivors like you who may be a little frustrated or, feel a little hopeless maybe in their situation. What advice would you have for others in the community?
Well, that's a long answer to that very excellent question, because those are some of the things that I encounter with the folks that I mentor. And I have some kind of the foundational things that I try to share is you must have 100% confidence in your care team. If you are second guessing your doctor's decisions, things they're saying, what they're advising for you, if you haven't gotten a second opinion, go get one. Excellent doctors will not be offended by that, because you can't afford to waste time worrying about the decisions being made for you. You've got to have total focus to heal yourself, and it starts with confidence in your care team. Number 2, make sure that you keep yourself. You need to stay in condition to stay. I'm falling over my words. You've got to be able to do the things you're passionate about and that bring you joy. So if you're undergoing treatment and you're not able to do those things, have the hard conversation with your doctor. Say, hey, doc, can we titrate back a little bit? Can we reduce some of these drugs a bit so I can do these things that I'm passionate about? So I can go for my walks, ride my bike, pick up my grandkids, play with them. If you can't do those things, your quality of life is really compromised, and that affects your mental ability, your healing karma inside of you. Might sound funny, but I tell you, if you're not happy and doing these things, you can't heal. You can't keep the drug. The drugs don't work as well as when you feel good, when you have joy, when you've got passion. And lastly, put a flag on the horizon. Look at the calendar, look at a book, talk to your husband, talk to your wife, say, hey, here's a place I want to go. Here's something I love to do. Put it on the calendar so that you've got something to look forward to. You've got something to plan to. This floating along, living between doctor's appointments is no way to go. You've got to have something to look forward to, just either a couple of months away, once a month, whatever your circumstance allows, but just plan something that
Hey,
will bring
we
you
got a
joy.
couple of spots left on the cycling team. Actually, I think if anybody out there is watching, any cyclists want to join the band, talk to me. They're looking for 2 more spots. You don't have to be a myeloma survivor. You just be a guy like me, and not a super pro cyclist either. We'll get you through it. But Jeff, thanks so much. We're just getting near the end here, and I just want to remind everybody who's watching that your donations are buying time. They're buying time for the right solution at the right time for people that can extend their lives and be there for their families. So we appreciate every single dollar you've given, and many of you are repeat donors, and we appreciate that as well.
Very much.
So thank you so much, Jeff. We'll come back again in a week or so and give an update. You better get to training, man. Get out of that COVID crap and get on your bike. You need to get your.
I'm gonna get on my bike. That's right. Got to ride, man.
All right. Thank you all very much. We'll see you next time on Goat and Goat. I gotta come up with
Dave.
It's a lousy name. Okay. Bye, Jeff.
Bye.